welcome to another edition of the Balking Dead. Not just another edition, it's the Monday edition, guys. So shout out to you guys. If you haven't already, go on over to Prize Picks. This show's sponsored by it. If you don't know, use promo code PUBSPORTS. Your first match deposit up to $100. They got you. If you're in Twitter world, make sure you hit that link and come join the chat, as this link will end shortly. So come and get to the motherfucking monies with your guy. Shout out to you guys. Smash the like on the way in here. And we got a lot going on today, guys. A lot going on today. We're going to talk about 6K props. 6 pitchers I had in my book and I wanted to break down, and I'm going to let you know if I bet them or not. And I'm going to give you a lot of fucking information on it because that's what I fucking do. And then we're going to break down 2 games, the 2 games I wanted to get into where I wanted to talk about both pitchers. So, yeah, big day, big day. And then we get to premiere the new intro to the Balking Dead. Shout out to my boy Underrated. I know you will be in here shortly. I appreciate the song you made for me. I bump it every fucking day. I cruise around in my car. I got my own fucking theme song, baby. And we will be premiering it at the end of the show today. Fuck the Bookies by Underrated, a song about Sharpie's bets. So, if you don't know, you should know. I'm known for spreading them cheeks backs and fucking the bookies up. So, let's get to the monies, guys, and talk about these pitchers y'all showed up for. Shout out to the chat, though. I see you all up in here. AOD, Tom Miggins, El Dorado, the motherfucking man. I appreciate you, my guy. Mr. fucking Rogers. Not Mr. Rogers neighborhood, but Rocco motherfucking Rogers. Let's fucking get to the money. Mr. Sunnyville Trailer Park. All the fucking crew is up here. LJ from Houston is in here. We've got it rolling. It's a big day. It's the biggest day on this show. And Mondays, we do big things. So we going to hit 100 live today because it's Monday. And we going to put some money in our pockets because that's what the fuck we do on this show. Yes, I just said fuck. Turn me the hell down if you're offended by curse words. If you're at work, I'm probably not the right guy for you. I speak my mind, I speak my brains, and I put out winners. So let's get to these winners. Hunter Greene versus the Marlins. First pitcher we're going to talk about, guys. And he's at 6.5 at his K-prop right now. And his fantasy score is at 31.5 on Prize Picks. Well, let's get to it. He is on a back-to-back versus the Marlins. And he's had 1 back-to-back in his major league career. Obviously, this is his rookie career. And he had 7 strikeouts the first game, got the living dog shit hit out of him by Milwaukee. And then he had 6 strikeouts the next game. He did face Milwaukee in his only back-to-back. So his strikeouts were still there. But the thing is about now than where he was back then is back then he was trusting his changeup a lot. Over the last few weeks and even watching last week, and we bet him last week, and we got our 6 strikeouts that we needed. But I think I'm going to have to stay off of him today. This back-to-back thing is really a thing. You need to pay attention to back-to-backs or within a 10-day period. And, yes, he's shown 1 time, but he was also a 3-pitch pitcher then, and now he's back to just being a fastball slider guy, and it's just not always the best thing being a 2-pitch pitcher on a back-to-back. So if you are a person who can live bet props, and there's a few people out there with legal books who can do shit like that. If you're watching the game and you see him using his changeup and working, smash his live over, guys. At the end of the day, if he can somehow get back to trusting his changeup, which he hasn't thrown much in the last few weeks, then he will be that guy who racks up those strikeouts. So definitely a live bet spot. When I run through his math, he does average 2.5 more strikeouts on the road where he's at. He's a 9.72 K per 9 at home and 12.5 K per 9 on the road, and he dominates the left-handed side at 12 strikeouts per 9 compared to a 10.5 on the right-handed side. When I go look at their projected lineup, they are projecting 5 righties and 4 lefties. So if they do add up some more lefties, better, but even at these numbers, he's going to need to go 5 to 6 innings. When I run up their numbers over the last 15 days compared to when he played them 5 days ago to their numbers for 15 days, their average in OPS is going up, guys. They're starting to hit the ball a little bit better than they were over a week ago. They were walk and strikeout percentage is dead ass the same, 6 to 6.5% with a 23% strikeout percentage. Their average has gone up from a 245 now. It was at a 216, and their OPS was at a measly 549, and it's now up to a 640. 640 is still not much to write home about, but they are getting a little bit better Once again, I preach, and you should already know this, betting baseball, it is one of the most streakiest sports in baseball, and that's why I track teams every 200 plate appearances to see how they are going right now, and they are on their upwards, and seeing a guy on a back-to-back who hasn't trusted his third pitch is enough to say, I got a pass on my guy, Hunter fucking Greene, and probably your guy. But on to the next guy, which I know a lot of motherfuckers want to hear about. So smash the like if you haven't. And let's talk about Mad fucking Max. And he's going up against his team, his old team, the Nationals. Speaking of the Nationals, baby, Juan fucking Soto. Yeah, finalizing that deal. But let's talk about Max Scherzer at the Nationals, guys. His K prop on a Prize Picks at a 7, and they've got that at a -209. And 8+ is at a +117. His fantasy score is at a 43.5. And I'm pretty sure his props have been jammed to the under, because I've had some guys text me saying they get a 6.5 and a -140 now. And I wrote those numbers out early in the morning. So let's go through the math. He does average 2.5 more strikeouts on the road than he does at home. He's on the road here. And he dominates the right-handed side at a strikeout more per 9 than he does versus the left-handed side. But both are fucking elite, guys. It's 11+ each way. So lineups really don't matter much with him, but the more righties, the better at the end of the day. And they're projecting 6 left-handed and 3 right-handed. If I can get me just a couple more in there, I'll be feeling really good about playing Max. I haven't put a bet in on him yet, and let's talk about it. He's going up versus his old fucking World Series championship buddies. At the end of the day, people are like, "Hey, do you think he's got this game circled, Sharpie?" No, this guy's a fucking professional. He played the Nationals to start the year already, guys. So this ain't the first time this year that he's seen him. And if you look into it, he went 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and only had 6 strikeouts. But it was the first game of the year, and he only threw 80 pitches. At the end of the day, that guy is not on an 80-pitch count. And let's look at the numbers of the Washington Nationals. 8.5 walk percentage with a 20.6 strikeout percentage, 218 average, 615 OPS, and an ISO of 105. They're just not seeing the ball well, but they are known for one thing, and I preach it on this show. They are really good at making contact, really good at not striking out. So there's a lot of things going on in this game here. So he had 6 strikeouts to start the year, only 80 pitches. Okay. The Nats were starting the year too. The Nats have now gone to the team of they don't strike out often. Not saying that Max Scherzer is not going to get his K prop, but when I break into the little black book, and we all know about that little black book, when I look into it, guys, is it a coincidence that 2 of the 4 games that he did not have 7+ strikeouts in were versus the Nationals and the Cardinals, 2 teams I preach about being teams that just don't strike out? You've got to have really good fucking reasons to run up against. I don't think it is a coincidence, guys. So right now we're at a 50-50 right there, and I don't bet fucking 50-50. So I look into the average in the OPS, and everything tells me that he should be out there 7+ innings. Now, can he average a strikeout per inning? Yes, he can, but this team just doesn't strike out. So once again, once I get the lineups, this is just projected lineups, then I will make my final decision on him. It still will only be a half-unit bet. I do not feel comfortable running a full unit up against these Nationals. Like, at the end of the day, they will kick you in your nuts more often than not. And I'm not here to get squared, kicked in the balls. Take that shit to UFC, man. They like to do that all the time now, just not to me. Next game, we're going to talk about the guy who likes to beat women. Straight up, Domingo German. 1 second. Somebody just showed up to my house who should not have fucking came. So I had to give them the old deboski of get the fuck out my house. So let's talk about Domingo German versus the Seattle Mariners. Prize Picks, they have them at a 5 at a -251, and they have him at 6+ at +106. They do not have his fantasy score out right now. Why? Because they don't know how long he's going to go. His first game, he went 65 pitches. His second game, he went 82. So I do project him to be available for at least a full run today. 90 to 100 pitches should not be a problem. So When I break into these numbers, 9.6 walk percentage, 22.6 strikeout percentage, with a 200 average, 619 OPS, and an ISO of a 136. By the fucking numbers, Domingo German should be out there for 6 innings and have a strikeout per inning. This team's not hitting the ball well. He's only played a few games this year, so let's go back through his math through 2021. And he averaged a strikeout more per on the road. He's at home right now, but he still averaged a strikeout per inning at home. And he pretty much the same versus lefties, righties. He has a strikeout per inning versus righties and a 9.37 K per nine versus lefties. So as of last year, just by the math, he averages a strikeout per inning. And then when you look at this numbers, this all says he's going 6+ innings tonight, guys. And this team struggles mightily with the slider, but when I look into his pitching visuals, this guy's heavily changeup, heavily curveball, and sinker. So definitely not the pitches I like to look at to run up versus Seattle, but don't hate anybody looking at some Domingo German today. He should just get his K-product by strictly being out there for 6 innings today, in my opinion. Let's get into the last 3 guys we're going to talk about. But, yeah, Jon Gray, Michael Kopech, Tarik motherfucking Skubal are the next 3 K-props we're going to break down. Shout out to the chat, 60 deep already on a Monday. Smash the like, hit the share, hit the retweet. We are going to get 100 live before we bust this song open and let y'all know Sharpie's bets really just going to another level with this song, guys. This putting the show to a whole nother level. There's levels to this shit, as my guy Tone would say. So hit the share, hit the retweet, and let's get to these pitchers. Jon Gray versus the Orioles. Prize picks, they have him at a 7. 7+ is at a -134, 8+ is at a -102, and his fantasy score is at a 35.5. When I run through his math, we got to be fair. Realistically, guys, he has played way more games on the road than he has at home. So I'm not going to read off his, he averages 12.51 strikeouts per 9 at home. Don't take that shit with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, he hasn't pitched enough at home for me to even take into that. So on the road, he's averaging a strikeout per inning. Versus lefties, he's averaging a strikeout per inning. And versus righties, it jumps up to an 11 K per 9. So this guy is righty dominant. When I break into these guys' lineups, they're projecting 5 lefties and 4 lefties and 5 righties. So I don't hate anybody looking at it. I would prefer at least 6 before I considered it, 6 right-handed people in the bat, because like I said, he is a 50% fastball with this guy and a nasty wipeout slider. So 2-pitch pitcher, he does throw more than 2, but those are the 2 dominant pitches he does throw. It's 97+, and it is a nasty fucking slider at the end of the day. So don't hate anybody looking at it, but I dig into it, and we get into the little black book, guys. I don't bet unders. They're not for me, but let's talk about it. He's been a fucking strikeout machine since he left Colorado. That's one thing I didn't even look at him until halfway through the year when my guy Noli Knowles brought him up. Like, bro, you see what the fuck Jon Gray's doing? And I'm like, holy fucking shit, bro. Wow, he could 18 Galloway. Like, man, what the hell have I been missing out on, man? But at the end of the day, he's proved himself in certain situations, guys. And when the K percentage says smack, the guy does the damn thing. When the K percentage says let's get into that. Get into the black book, and anything under a 20% K rate this year, he's 1 out of 6 to the number 7. Why do I tell you that? Well, 20%, guys, is considered top 3 in the league. Granted, I track everything 200 plate appearances. So when he's faced teams with a top 3 strikeout percentage, he's only 1 and 6 to the number 7. Well, let's get into these fucking Orioles. They're only striking out 19.8% of the time. They're hitting that under 20%, where when I dig through my numbers tells me like, hold up. And that's enough to tell me that I'm not going to bet the over on him right there, just because I could see something in all the numbers. And sometimes it's just one number, sometimes it's multiple numbers, but enough to see that in that one number and to see that number pop up is enough to tell me I can't be on Jon Gray today. So I'm going to pass on some Wolfman Jon Gray. And even though I do have on confirmed notifications from a really reliable source that Jon Gray did get a wolf blood injection and a blowjob from a Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bunsen lookalike. So, yeah, the guy should deal today, guys. I just think I'm going to have to pass. So, don't hate the guys on it. I do know a few that are looking at him, but I myself will need 6 right-handed bats in the lineup for me to even think about him, because that strikeout percentage is enough to make me say Heisman Trophy and just slow the fuck down at it. So we're going to get into a guy now about Michael Kopech. For a while, I had to pass on Mr. Kopech, and this may be the time to pull old nasty Kopech out the pocket, but he is a person we got to look at for lineups, guys. He is so lineup drastic, dependable, kind of like a Berrios, kind of like a fucking Manoah. There's a few guys where you just got to see the lineup because they struggle putting away a certain side. And with Kopech, he struggles putting away righties, which is weird for a right-handed pitcher to have a problem striking out right-handed fucking bats. And it's just fucking putrid with fucking Michael Kopech, guys. It is nasty. So he's striking out 5.86 batters per 9 versus the right-handed side. Like, disgusting. Ew. He's striking out 11.25 lefties per 9. More lefties, the better. Usually, you stack lefties up versus a right-handed pitcher, so they're projecting not as many lefties as I'd like. 5 righties and 4 lefties. If we can get a predominant lefty lineup, then we're going to be looking at Kopech. Well, Kopech's velo's been down the last few weeks, guys. He went on the IL, didn't even hit the IL. He missed a start. He got hurt on his plant leg, missed a start, threw a bullpen, felt good, had his knee drained, came back, velo down. All of his numbers, all of his strikeout numbers, everything fucking peripherals went down the shit because his velo was down. Well, one thing I noticed last week while he was pitching is his velo was back up to that 96 and 97. So Kopech can stay around that 96, 97 and be at that consistent fucking miles per hour, then everything else will play off of it, guys. And these aren't the same Royals that we always think of. And there's a few teams that I preach about on this show that you've got to have a really, really, really good reasoning to. Let's get off my screen. You got to have a really, really good reasoning to run them up against. And those are the Cleveland Guardians, the Mets, the fucking Astros, fucking St. Louis Cardinals, Washington National. There's certain teams that are really, really good at making contact. And you learn this and you pick this up while betting K-props. And you fucking learn just to stay away from certain things. And the Royals were a stay away until they started trading everybody. They're not the same Royals as what we're seeing. When their projected lineup has 4 people in the lineup that were not in the lineup when he faced them back on April 28th this year, when he only had 3 strikeouts versus a team that wasn't striking out because they're the Royals and they just really good at making contact. Well, he still had a good game, only 3 strikeouts. And then when I match those numbers up with today, their strikeout percentage is through the fucking roof right now, guys. This is not where you see the Royals at, and this is where you see must play usually from a lot of cappers. And I won't hate people that are out there giving out Kopech. It's just the fact of I need to see the lineups before I do it. I don't just jump on one number. And the number they're all looking at right now, guys, is that 27.2 strikeout percentage over the last 200 plate appearances. That is bad, guys. That is fadeable. They are hitting the ball average-wise for a 264, but their OPS is middle of the pack, 694, and they're not really scoring runs with a 109. So I've got to just see the lineup, preferably for me. I need more lefties than righties, and right now they're only projecting 4 lefties than 5 righties. If I can get a 5 and a 4, we'll be looking at his K-prop at a 6+, and it's at plus 110, and 5 on a prize picks with his fantasy score at a 27.5. I'd be looking at his fantasy score over right here, guys. Even if I'm not on the K-prop, I expect this guy to be out there for 6 solid innings and to keep out the strikeouts. Even if they're there or not, he still should hit his fantasy score, in my opinion. That would be the spot to attack him on Prize Pick. Shout out to the chat. 82 fucking live already. We easily on our way to 100. Why? Because we really be cashing tickets over here, guys. We don't tell you to go buy a fucking package. I tell you what I'm betting. I give you legit breakdowns. And I may curse a little bit, but that's okay. Because if you got a problem with me cursing, you should not tune in later on to the new intro of The Balking Dead by my boy Underrated. Fuck the bookies. Parental advisory. There should be a parental advisory on this show. And we might just put that on this show from now on. Because at the end of the day, this show ain't for your wife. It ain't for your grandma. It's for some people who want to put some money in their pocket. So shout out to Pub Sports for giving me a platform and letting me be me. And let's talk about one more fucking pitcher. Tarik motherfucking Skubal. My guy, your guy, all of our guys, man. At the end of this day, either you love him or you hate him, guys. He's just that kid. He's still a kid, and at times he's going to act like a fucking kid. But let's get into it. It's at 6+ at -110. 5 on Prize Picks at a -218, and his fantasy score is 30.5. And I know everyone probably is on Skubal and wanting to smash Skubal right now because of what they seen Sean Manaea do, guys. And don't let recency fucking be don't be a recency bias. If you have to cap a game separately and let it be. Don't cap it because, oh, they struck out no times to Manaea. They got to strike out the Skubal. That is the most B-graded fucking capping in the world. Please don't cap like that. Please be a little more in-depth. If anything, learn something from me. I may be a jackass. I may be a fool. But I at least give you golden nuggets, guys, that people actually tell me I shouldn't be giving out. Like, you give out way too much information to these guys. And da-da-da. At the end of the day, I bet my own fucking plays. And if you can learn something from me, cool. So be it. Even better. If you tail my plays because I win, fucking I appreciate it. Cool. Even better. But I don't ask for tips. I don't ask for none of that bullshit because I pay my fucking self. I pay my fucking self. So I hope you're withdrawing because at the end of the day, it's about withdrawing, guys. Don't pay these bookies. Fuck the bookies and make them pay us. So let's get into my guy, your guy, Tarik Skubal. So, like I said, please don't ever use recency bias in your capping. Don't take the last game out. I've had to realize even 7 days is bad, guys. If you just want to look at 7 days, that was terrible for me to look at the numbers. What I've learned is 200 plate appearances minimum, 2 weeks minimum, up to a month maximum. I will not go past a month. And usually you'll only run into that versus teams versus lefties running into that 200 plate appearances because sometimes you'll go fucking weeks without seeing lefties certain teams. So is what it is. Life's a bitch, then you marry one. And this fucking chat is fucking rocking today. Shout out to the chat. Underrated's here. Of course he's here today because his song go pop up in a few fucking minutes. But let's get to it. Viper, I see you. El Dorado, AOD, motherfucking not George Costanza. My guy, he got a different name on a different name out here. George in Vegas. I love that guy on Twitter. Yeah. But let's get to it. At the end of the day, guys, I don't run Tarik Skubal in the division. That's something I've learned over the years. And if you were playing it this year, you've lost fucking 5 out of 8 times to the number 5.5. At the end of the day, division shit, and he showed me through the last year, not just this year, guys. Just stay away from him in the division. If you want to play a coin toss, if he's going to hit it, he's hit it 3 out of 8 times this year. So what, he's due to hit it? You're going to, like, even if he hits right now, if that prop is hitting 50% on the year, and you're not paying plus money juice on Tarik Skubal, guys, so you're actually losing money betting Tarik Skubal versus the division. You better have a real good reasoning, in my opinion, to be on it, guys. And let's get into it. He faced them on 4/28, faced them on June 1st, and now he gets them today. When I run all their numbers up into the black book, guys, this is the hottest the Twins have been versus lefties than he's faced them all year. Strikeout percentage is at 19.7. They're walking 8.5%, and they're hitting 246 with a 793 OPS and an ISO of a 223. So he had 4 strikeouts the first game. on April 28th, and then he had 6 strikeouts on June 1st. So he's 50-50 to the number once again, guys. So at the end of the day, I just stay the fuck away from him in the division. Now, can he go hit it? Yes, but I'm not betting cans, guys. If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Ifs don't pay the bills at the end of the day, guys. So you gotta. And Tarik Skubal's my guy, and I'll run into a wall with him at times, and I have run into a wall with him and lost a few times. But you won't see me in the division betting this guy. Just not for me at the end of the day. What is for me is these next 2 games, guys. We got Red Sox and Astros, and Giants and Dodgers. On this show, we usually do full game breakdowns, but I'm gonna start doing more props like I just did. I am the K prop fucking master. This is what I do. This is what I'm really good at. And let's just do a couple quick little breakdowns on the Red Sox at the fucking Astros. Nathan Eovaldi versus Luis Garcia. In this game, I do have a half unit bet on a K prop. So let's talk about him. And I know a lot of people just get better numbers than me, but at the end of the day, I give out the fucking prop that I bet. Not like, oh, it's at a 5.5. I didn't get 5.5. I had to bet fucking 7, so fucking is what it is. Life's a bitch, then you marry one. I give out the number that I'm on, so let's get to it. Eovaldi's 4-3 with a 4.43 ERA in 15 games. And before the IL, this guy was money. He's an ace, guys, but he hasn't been a fucking ace off the IL. 3 games off the IL, and he's given up 3 earned runs or more in every game. He did go 6 innings versus Cleveland the last time out. Once again, Cleveland, don't strike out. Astros usually don't strike out, but they've been up since the All-Star break. Their numbers have gone up some, but there's no way I could bet on a guy who's been trashed since he's been off the IL. And he went 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs with 1 strikeout versus Cleveland, and that was his good game. Nah, that shit ain't for me, guys. At the end of the day, it's not just that. He has fucking got a parking spot with the Astros because they own him. At the end of the day, they fucking own him. Damn. Let's get into it. This year they faced him, and they beat the living dog shit out of him on May 17th. 1.2 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs. Last year in the playoffs, 3 games combined for 10.1 innings. He gave up 12 hits, 7 earned runs with only 9 strikeouts. How about June 9th last year? Oh, he got the shit kicked out of him again versus these Astros. 5.2 innings, 11 hits, 5 earned runs with 5 strikeouts. Damn. These guys fucking own him. But if there was a day to have a day, it would be today. But I'm still on that fucking team total for them over, and you're just going to have to kick me in the nuts on this one, bud. But let's get to it. His K-prop is at 5+ at -150, 4.5 on Prize Picks, and his fantasy scores at 24.5. No way am I going to bet on a guy to start turning around his season versus a team that owns him, and he hasn't been good. The only good thing going into this for Eovaldi is he is making now his 4th straight start in a row, so at least he's healthy. That's all you got to look at and be countful on. And I know a lot of people betting him to the over today because of these numbers of these Astros over the last 15 days. They're not the Astros of what we're used to, guys. At the end of the day, they're walking 6.8%, not fucking good, striking out 20.6% with a 230 average and a 706 OPS. When he faced them last time, they had a 268 and an 815 OPS, like totally 2 drastic different fucking teams than when he faced them than when he faced them back then and on May 17th. So if there was a day to have a day, it would be today for Eovaldi. But I don't bet ifs and or what. So I do think he gets living shit kicked out of him. So I will not be on his K prop until he can show me he's back, and he hasn't shown me that. So this next guy, I am on Luis Garcia. I got a half unit bet on. He's not dirty K. I am scared. I have him projected for 6-7, but he's getting a layup spot right now. He's only been in 1 layup spot all year, and he's now giving a layup spot again. And let's get to it. At the end of the day, these Red Sox are trash, walking and striking out over the last 30 days. Garcia's 8-6 with a 3.81 ERA. He does have a home 4.89 and a road 2.72 ERA. Okay, we're not betting ERAs here. We're betting strikeout props. So let's get into it. He does have 1.4 more strikeouts per 9 at home than on the road, so plus money there. And he averages the same strikeouts lefty versus righties, a 9.77 exactly. So doesn't matter lineup-wise. I don't need to be, oh, what's the lineup? Certain guys are lineup-proof. He strikes out the same per 9 throughout the whole year, and we get him at home where he strikes out 1.5 more per 9 versus a team right now walking 5.5%, striking out 30.2%, absurdly bad. They are hitting 245 average with a 708 OPS and an ISO of 171. When I run them up versus those numbers on May 18th when he played them, and they got to him, 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs with 4 strikeouts and 3 walks in Boston. And he played them 2 times in the playoffs also. And he got hit the first time, 1 inning, 2 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 Ks. Played them 5 days later and dealt versus them. 5.2 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs with 7 strikeouts and 1 walk. Played them again last year in June, and he dealt versus them too. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run with 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. For the most part, this guy's had fucking really good games versus them. He's had 2 great games, and he's got hit hard twice. Well, when I match up the numbers from May 18th to now, same average, same the OPS just falls off the roof, but the ISO is still the same. The drastic difference is the walk percentage. They were at 8.1%. Now they're at a 5.5. Trash. They were at a 20.6 strikeout percentage. Now they're at a 30.2. This is all play on. There's only been 1 time this year where he's faced a team higher than 26% strikeout percent, and that was the Angels, and he had 7. What's the difference between the Angels and the Red Sox? The Angels is whiff percentage. They swing inside the zone. Our guy has a problem staying inside the zone. He's going to rock the baby, and he's going to get these guys to chase because that's what the fuck they've been doing right now. So 7+ strikeouts I'm liking. I'm on a half unit. Luis Garcia, 7+ at plus 102. On Prize Picks, they have him at a 6, and his fantasy score is at a 32.5. I will be on him at 7+. I know some people can get him at 5.5. That's still, to me, is still a half unit bet. I wouldn't just go smash it because you can get a better number. At the end of the day, this guy has shown that he can get hit by this team, but this walk percentage and strikeout percentage is enough to tell me that he's done well in this spot. So Luis Garcia's, go out there and cash us the monies. And shout out to you guys, 106 live already on a Monday. I knew we were smashing 100 live today. So if you haven't already, smashed the fucking like. That's all I ask around here as I keep putting money into our pockets. So no run first inning is at a minus 120 in this game. And bullpens over the last 30 days, there's a drastic fucking difference. Astros have the 7th best bullpen with a 3.05 ERA. And the Red Sox have the worst, 29th worst. Only 30 teams in baseball, 30-30. Shout out to my boy fucking Trey. But 30, you don't want to be near the 30 guys in baseball. So 29th ERA with a 5.46 ERA over the last 30 days. And if you don't know, you should know. We talk about a guy on this show. You may know him as Yordan Alvarez. I like to call him your Dong Alvarez because this will be putting his dick on the table. And yeah, I'm on him over 1.5 bases, minus 134. Ooh, the juice. Oh my God, minus. You guys bet money lines, right? On baseball and other sports at minus 134, right? So why would you be afraid of a minus 134 hitting prop? Like that's what I need to come down to. It was my fucking capping. Like I kept passing on minus 130s because I'm like, there's no value in it. Cashed it almost like at a 70% clip. Those were cashing at that I was staying off. I've stopped staying off of them over the last 2 months, and I've been going, hi-ya, 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 dicking them hoes down. So Yordan Alvarez, in 10 plate appearances, he has 2 walks, so 8 at-bats. He has 7 hits, 4 extra base hits, 3 doubles and a home run off of Evaldi, and we talk about it on this show, guys. It's not about just starting pitching when you want to take in a prop. We got the 29th worst fucking bullpen coming in off of a guy that he already owns. Yes, I like to see 15 plate appearances or more, but at the end of the day, I don't need 15 plate appearances for your Dong Alvarez over 1.5. Please and thank you. Then we got to talk about Alex Bregman, guys. This guy also has some really good numbers in 18 plate appearances off Evaldi. He has 8 hits, 16 at-bats, 4 extra base hits, 3 doubles and a home run. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. His 2+ bases is at plus 125. I don't hate that. What I would look at more, though, is his hits, runs, RBIs. And they have it at a 3+ minus 102. If you're in the building props prop parlays, builders, I would take him down to 2 with the -2 something right now because he's going to get on base, and Yordan Alvarez or somebody will bring him in. So he's not a bet of mine, but definitely worth something you need to pay attention to. Bregman has some really good numbers off of Eovaldi, and this bullpen is trash. So got to take advantage of more than just the pitcher. Got to take advantage of fucking bullpens too. Let's get into this next game. We're going right to Chavez Ravine behind me, guys, and I got a half unit K prop bet on both of these guys. So today I've got 3 half unit bets. I don't have a dirty K in yet. I need to see some lineups. There's just at the end of the day, this card was ass. I don't press bets. I don't just give out picks. I give out my bets. I will give you information, and let's get to it. Andrew Heaney versus Logan Webb. Heaney is 1-0 with a 0.47 ERA in 4 games, 27 strikeouts in just 19 innings of work. He was on the IL, but last pitch last week versus the Nationals, who don't strike out versus lefties, guys. This is something that I will be preaching and preaching and preaching. 4 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks with 4 strikeouts. Cool. Average the strikeout per inning. Too many walks, though. But at the end of the day, the game before that, before he went to the IL, was June 19th. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned runs versus 7 strikeouts to a Cleveland team who don't strike out. There's a lot of things telling me in this little blueprint of work, guys, that this guy can fucking handle a team whose strikeout numbers say that they're going to get dealt to. And when I break down these Giants over the last 15 days, guys, they're walking 8.8%, middle of the pack. They're striking out 25% of the time. That is top 8 in the league. That is not fucking good, 25, guys. 227 average, 689 OPS, bottom fucking 10 with an ISO of 151. They put his K prop at 6+ at a -126, 5.5 on Price Picks, and they didn't give it to us his fantasy score. I get it, but I don't bet on guys coming off the IL unless your name is Max Scherzer or Verlander, because I know you're ready and you've usually pitched 90+ pitches. Andrew Heaney showed last week he was ready. He pitched in the game. He's now showing us 5 days later he is still healthy. By the numbers, he should go out there and shut these guys down. I was fucking livid when the Dodgers signed him and paid him so much money. I thought the guy was trash last year. But in very small sample size, this guy has shut me the fuck up. Only 4 games, so the jury's still out on this guy. But he's been really fucking good in those 4 games, guys. So maybe the Dodgers seen something that I didn't. But, yeah, the guy's been elite striking people out and teams that shouldn't strike out. And that's where we're going to take advantage of him. Is he's got a team swinging and missing a lot right now versus lefties, and could be a big day for Heaney. That's why it's only a half unit, though. Is only 4 games right now, guys. That's not enough for me to trust the kid personally. I do have hate and anger boiling in me versus this signing. So to even put a half unit on him means that the numbers were telling me I had to. So at the end of the day, let's get into the other half unit bet that I got in this game, and it's Logan Webb strikeout prop 5+ -124. I'm on it. 4.5 on Price Picks, and his fantasy score is 28.5. Webb is 9-4 with a 2.91 ERA. He does have a home 2.43 and a road 3.41. 3.41 still really fucking good, guys. So just be real, though. It goes back to last year. He had a sub-2 ERA and a 4+ on the road. This guy loves pitching in San Francisco. And who the fuck doesn't love pitching in San Francisco? One of the best pitching ballparks, especially at nighttime, where this game will be played at nighttime in San Francisco. Great place to pitch in, and he loves showing. It shows in the numbers over the last 2. He didn't even lose once last year at home. Kid was undefeated at home. Like, everybody's like, Webb at home, Webb at home. Well, Spider motherfucking Webb, go out there and do the damn thing and give me my 4.5 strikeouts. So let's talk about it. When I go through his math, he averages 8.5 strikeouts per 9 at home, where only 6.5 on the road. So we're getting 2 strikeouts more and a better ERA. So everything right there, math-wise, telling us good. He averages only 7.8 strikeouts per 9 versus righties and 7.1 versus lefties. Not much of a difference. And the Dodgers are projected to put out 5 left-handed, 4 right-handed, where he does strike out righties more. This, to me, I don't even care about the map. This is more off of he's seeing the same team now, guys, in a 10-day period, which is what? You're betting a half unit, Sharpie, on a guy on a back-to-back or within a 14-day period? You got to fucking show me something in your fucking stats, in your storybook. And I tell you guys all the time, baseball, that fucking there's stories being written. And Story Time with Webb says he pitches really good at home. He strikes more people out at home. And he's really good on back-to-backs or 10-day periods versus the Dodgers. So let's get into it. At the end of the day, he pitched against these Dodgers 10 days ago, and he did not have his shit. Did not have his shit. Had 2 strikeouts in that game, went 6 innings, and only gave up a few runs. I was watching that game. The first inning was just miserably trash to the kid. The guy's best pitch is his changeup, his fastball changeup, and his strikeout pitch is his slider. His slider was gone. He had no control of that pitch in that game. And after the first inning, he came out with some sleeves on. And this is what I talk about listening to baseball, is you've got to have the volume on. And he came out second inning with sleeves on. Oral Hershiser talked about it. When a pitcher wears sleeves, it's like wearing a straitjacket. It makes you feel more closed. He was open too much. So I would not be surprised if Webb starts the game today with some sleeves on. So let's get more into it. He's facing them now on a back-to-back, and I get it. I'm not a back-to-back, on a 10 days. When I run up the numbers, 15 days to 15 days, the Dodgers are smashing, I get it, but at least they've cooled off a little bit since the last time they seen them 10 days ago. They were walking 11.3%. Now they're walking 10.5%, still both good. They're not striking out. They were at 19.2 at 16% now, and they were at a 272 average, 264 now, 840 OPS. It's come down to a reasonable 772. Excuse me. And the ISO, guys, that's dropped down too from a 199 to a 160. Still respectable. The Dodgers are still a team that can hit. They were out of this planet. They're just now on the moon right now. So, I mean, he's going to see a team that will be within a 10-day period. Last year, he faced them 721, 727. His ERA stayed the same. He had 5 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts. Faced them in the playoffs last year, October 8th, October 14th. 10 strikeouts to 7 strikeouts. So, yes, I understand the strikeouts were down. Yes, I understand this team doesn't strike out. But at the end of the fucking day, stupid fucking nicotine mints. Don't smoke, but if you quit smoking, at least you fucking, I've been on these mints. I've almost quit the mints. They give me cotton out like a crackhead. So, yeah, gotta fucking stay hydrated because it's hot and I use crackhead mints with nicotine in them. But let's get to it. I'm on him over 4.5, guys. The numbers say don't fucking play it. Everything says the Dodgers don't fucking strike out, but he's shown me in his history that he can pitch well on back-to-backs, especially versus the Dodgers. So I get it if you're going to stay off of him and not tail me on this one. I've got to play it because I was on it versus the Dodgers last week, and he's shown me numerous of times that I've just got to play that 4.5 versus the Dodgers. He hits it more than often than enough. So my half-unit bets today are Andrew Heaney over 5.5 strikeouts at -126. And fucking Logan Webb, 4.5, -124. And I have to take Luis Garcia at 7+ at +102. I know a lot of people can get the 5.5. Those are all half-unit bets today, and those are what I'm on. We're going to hit a quick commercial, and we're going to get to the new intro song. Parental advisory, fuck the bookies is the name. So let's get to a commercial, pay some bills, and get to this new song. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Step in line, guys. Shout out to my boy fucking Underrated. You're the truth, my guy. I appreciate you doing this out of respect for your man, out of me putting enough money in your pocket the gratitude you've done for this show. I can't say thank you enough, guy. The hype that I have going is just, I can't even put words into it, guys. We are going to start the show now with the best intro in the history of sports betting. Here we fucking go. Rated, shout out to him. This is the shit pitch whisperer day, guys. Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. How the fuck can you not be pumped when you hear that fucking shit? How? Oh, I know I am, guys. So, until next time, make sure you go on over to Prize Picks. Use that promo code PubSports. Why? Because it's the best promo code in sports entertainment, guys. Your first fucking deposit up to $100, they got you match deposit. So do us a favor, do you a favor, and yeah, smash the fucking like button like I smashed BBWs. We setting records on this show. And until next time, let's pull those cheeks back and fuck those bookies in the eye hole.